But who do you think is going to be taking the series? First game, second game, third game. What do you got?
Everyone, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always have something to say about the Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, we've got Derek from NYY Recaps coming in live, and we're going to be chatting about the upcoming series between the Blue Jays and the New York Yankees. But before we introduce them, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, do the post notification bell button. Those who are the Noti gang, shout out to those guys. I saw a comment. I was like, hey, shout out. And also, guys, if you want to be entered into our jersey giveaway, there's about 3 days left to be entered. So sign up to Monkey Knife Fight, use promo code TODAYJays, and you'll be entered to win a Blue Jays jersey. And you could choose whoever you want, literally whoever you want. Get George Springer. He's got like 6 years on that contract.
Yeah. You definitely want George Springer after we paid him $150 million. Although we're not going to be having him for this upcoming. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Probably not going to have him for opening day though. And we are playing the Yanks. So, Derek, NYY Recaps, how are you doing, my friend? Talk to me about your team.
Well, we're looking pretty good, but I'm a little bit bummed that we might not get the chance to boo George Springer now that he's, back out of the lineup.
Would you actually still boo him, even though he's kind of like, he kind of maybe, proved that he wasn't a cheater as much as we thought he'd be.
And hold up, if we're going to be booing George Springer, then we also got to be booing Garrett Cole too, buddy.
Oh.
Hey, as far as I know, Garrett Cole did nothing wrong, but that's the jury's still out. Jury's still out on that one. But we'll see how that spin rate goes now that they're sending the baseball to the lab.
Yeah, actually, that's funny. Actually, what are your thoughts about that whole spin rate thing? Do you think is the MLB actually going to start cracking down, or are they kind of just saying that as a warning to kind of scare some people off? Because there's a lot of people who do it.
I think it's kind of a PR move. they're not going to send every. You know how many baseballs get used? Every game, there's probably 24 boxes of baseballs. You're going to send them all to the lab at what? A few $100 a piece? Come on. Major League Baseball is not going to do that. They're going to say that they're sending them to the lab. They're finding nothing out of the ordinary, and they're going to let their big guys work. That's what's going to happen.
I 1000% agree with you, dude. I saw a very interesting, it's on Yahoo Fantasy Sports. I'm a major Garrett Cole lover, by the way. So I pick him up in all of my fantasy leagues. But there was a comment that was like, he should be right up there for Cy Young. He's like one of the top pitchers off the board. Granted, in case something sticky happens with him. I was like, that is so funny, man. It feels like league wide, everyone's like, he probably does it, but whatever. He's still elite.
Yeah, and man, hey, so speaking of which, that's something you might be a little bit worried about. Maybe not. But for the Yankees, let us Blue Jays fans know, from a Yankee perspective, what is the biggest thing that you might be worried about your Yankee team coming into this year?
Well, for the last few years, it's been the health of the team. Judge and Stanton have been basically on the injured list nonstop for the last few years. But this year, I think they're looking healthy. I think that they've been doing a lot of yoga and cutting down on some of the weights. So I think that's going to help. But what I'm really worried about is the pitching staff, because Corey Kluber is our number 2. He hasn't really pitched in 2 years. His location looked a little bit rusty to me this spring, and he's a guy who gets by on command. He's not a high velocity guy. And then you've got Jameson Taillon, who's coming back from a second Tommy John surgery. And look, if you come back from one Tommy John surgery, tons of guys have had success, but not a lot of guys have come back from 2 and had any kind of extended success. I can think of Nathan Eovaldi, who pitched really well for that 1 year with the Red Sox, but even then he didn't throw a ton of innings and he was kind of up and down. Jameson Taillon has rebuilt his entire motion from the ground up. He shortened up his arm swing. You might remember he had that really, really big arm swing, kind of funky. And does going to a more normal delivery, does that make him more hittable, right? So, we'll see how that works out. Also, Domingo Germán, he's back from a domestic violence suspension. That's kind of created some issues in the clubhouse, but he's pitched really well this spring. But again, he hasn't pitched in over a year. And when the last time he did pitch, they had to move him to the bullpen in September because he couldn't get anybody out because he ran out of gas. So my concern is, how are you going to, in a season where you need to rest everybody because nobody threw 200 innings last year in the entire league, how are you going to mix and match guys to keep everyone rested and healthy until October? I don't know if it can be done. I really don't. So I'm looking for the Yankees offense to kind of lead the way again and just hope that you can outslug everybody in the playoffs. And then somehow you match up well with, maybe the Dodgers get knocked out early because the Dodgers really frighten me. But I think they can beat San Diego, but the Dodgers are going to be kind of a tough one.
Well, you are pitching to the freaking choir, my friend. I feel like we got to start a help group or something for these teams with incredible lineups and far less incredible pitching, because obviously on the Toronto Blue Jays side of things, we're super excited about this lineup. We feel like our lineup maybe isn't as proven as yours, but it has the potential to be right up there in that slugging and OPS at the end, as one of those team lead leaguers. But the pitching, man, pitching is just not there.
It's awful. You have Ryu. We have Ryu. We know that for sure. But like you said, I like your question marks better than our question marks. Our question marks are at least is Robbie Ray going to ever do what he did in 2017 ever again? And then it's Tanner Roark. He's pretty much an easy W for any team. Even the Texas Rangers could beat Tanner Roark.
Yeah, and even your question mark, at least you got a guy who won 2 Cy Youngs.
Exactly.
Right. What could do 2 Cy Youngs get you if you can't stay on the field, though, right? So
very true.
I would take somebody who's maybe had some performance issues, like a Tanner Roark, who in the past has been successful, and maybe he can find, a new pitch or tweak something, but he's at least able to answer the bell. You can't figure something out in the bullpen if you're sitting on the couch in Miami, right?
That's fair, man. In the end, I'd rather have somebody be healthy and at least can play the game than not at all. And speaking of, I guess that's a great transition to talk about it. We're down probably our best hitter. You're down right now, the league leader in home runs. How are you feeling about that?
So Luke Voit is out, but honestly, the Yankees have enough power on that team that they can get by without the maybe 6 or 7 home runs that he's going to hit between now and mid-May. They've got Jay Bruce, who's a left-handed hitter in Yankee Stadium. He's experienced. If they tell him, hey, look, we don't care how many times you ground into the shift, we want you going up there and swinging for that porch every time, he's going to run into 4 or 5. So maybe you're at a net -3 home runs between now and when Luke Voit gets back. Now, Luke Voit does have a higher on-base percentage. He draws a lot of walks. Mm-hmm. So obviously that's going to hurt maybe Stanton's RBIs behind him. But I feel like Luke Voit will come around, and it's just a matter of keeping everybody else on the field. I'm more worried about guys like Judge and Stanton staying on the field. What's the deal with George Springer, though? Is he basically going to be out for opening day, or is they're looking to put him on the IL, or what?
Man, that has been the question in Blue Jays fan world. We've been asking, half the fans are hey, we really want to see this guy play because obviously we just made the big signing. You're bringing this guy in, you want to see him on opening day. But then there's us. I know Nick and I both agree, this guy has a grade 2 oblique strain. That is serious, and apparently the side effects and his symptoms aren't as serious as what a grade 2 would say. However, he's been MRI'd. He actually got MRI today, and things are still not looking totally 100%. It's going to be a day-by-day kind of situation. We're actually going to find out in a couple of days what that MRI is saying. So personally, I think from our perspective, just sit him. Don't put him on the opening day roster. Because if you do, what if that aggravates that strain? Because George Springer is going to say, "Hey, I'm okay to play, even if it's a little bit tender." You got to have that. You got to have that training staff really shut him down.
I completely agree, man. And it's funny. I saw the headline for oblique, and my immediate reaction was, "Oh my God, Aaron Judge!
Aaron Judge,
don't do this to me!" So I'm just all with all due respect. I don't want to have a situation where it is like Judge or Stanton and these guys just keep flip-flopping back and forth off of the IR and whatever. I say take as much time as you need, come back healthy. We're going to give you the wops this weekend anyways, man, without him. So it's take the time, bro.
Actually, that reminds me, what do you think is going to happen this weekend?
Yeah.
So game by game. We don't know who our next 2 starters are after Ryu, but we can speculate. But who do you think is going to be taking the series? First game, second game, third game. What do you got?
Well, I think Garrett Cole pitching, you might not know this, but Garrett Cole was a Yankees fan growing up, and he's never pitched at home in Yankee Stadium with fans, right? Because last year there was nobody in the stands.
Right.
So he's going to have that little bit of extra adrenaline. I look for him to come out really strong. He's been working with pitching coach Matt Blake this spring to add a little bit more depth to his breaking ball. So he's getting a little bit more 12-6 action, and his breaking was already nasty. I think Garrett Cole's going to have a really good day on opening day. But Corey Kluber is our number 2 on Saturday, and he made it into the third inning basically the other day because he couldn't throw strikes. So it seems as if Corey Kluber is still shaking the rust off. So I'm going to give you guys game 2, and then I think it's just up for grabs in game 3. Domingo Germán, how will he handle fans in a stadium now that you can hear everything? Who maybe not every New Yorker is going to be on his side. And I'm sure a lot of them are going to be speaking Spanish, and a lot of them are going to be saying things about him hitting his girlfriend. And I'm sure he's not going to, be happy to hear that, but can he tune it out and focus on the game? And also the Yankees have not gotten off to a lot of great starts recently. They're kind of a hot weather team. As the summer heats up, that ball starts going a little bit further. How's it going to, how are we going to handle with the higher seams? Is it still going to travel? Yada, yada, yada. But I feel like the Yankees generally play about 500 ball until about Memorial Day. And then from Memorial Day till August, they generally play about 800 ball. And then they cool off. And then they just hope to get hot in the playoffs. That's kind of the Yankees formula.
Well, I mean, it seems to be a formula that works for you guys. So you got yourselves taking game 1.
Yeah.
Us taking game 2, and then game 3 up for grabs. Adam, what are you thinking, bro?
Well, I definitely do agree from Ryu versus Cole. As much as I love Ryu, Cole's just absolutely rock solid. Like I can count on that guy winning every single time. And especially, you bring up a good point with Yankee Stadium. That's going to be a whole another atmosphere.
I hadn't thought of that.
I didn't even think about that, right? Where game two, it's interesting because I actually said that we were going to lose, but now that you're this is why we have this collaboration, because I need to know this insider information, right? Because you got Corey Kluber, not looking as good in spring. And then for us, we might have Ross Stripling going. And Ross Stripling this spring has been really leaving pitches over the heart of the plate.
Yeah.
He really hasn't been tuning his pitches. This breaking ball hasn't been as sharp. It's been kind of loopy, hanging over. So I had us losing that. But however, in game 3, Steven Matz for us, actually, when we traded for from the New York Mets, he's been having an amazing spring, and he has looked definitely sharp.
Yeah. I like Steven Matz a lot, and I'm hoping that he can bring that kind of hot mentality into that game. And again, circling back to Corey Kluber, we were just looking at the spring training numbers. And, on paper, the ERA looks pretty good. And, across the board, it's like, okay, that's pretty nice. So I was like, damn, maybe this guy is back in form. So I'm happy that you told us that he's kind of a little bit all over the place, not quite finding his spots.
Just so we can feel a little bit more comfortable facing you guys. We really want to,
it's like,
okay, we can take a deep breath. We're maybe more closer than we thought we were.
But I will also say, because you're talking to us about your lineup, and I know that Torres is doing very, very well. He's off to a hot start. But man, our lineup right now, I know Garrett Cole is good. I know you got some studs of your own, but Vlad is killing it right now. Bichette has found his groove. Teoscar Hernandez is smacking balls out of the park. Semien looks pretty good. Biggio looks pretty good. The core group of our actual hitters, I'm feeling pretty confident about.
Yeah. Who do you think, I want to ask you, who do you think is the scariest person that you think was on the Blue Jays? Maybe a hitter, maybe a pitcher, could be, I don't know.
Sure. So when you said the name Teoscar Hernandez, a shudder went down my spine because he just killed the Yankees. As Yankees fans, we have a term for guys like Teoscar Hernandez, and it goes back to Ken Griffey Jr. and guys like that. Yankee killer. Some guys just play better on that big stage, and Teoscar Hernandez just seems to always beat the Yankees. I mean, and the stats might prove me wrong. I haven't looked at the numbers. He might hit 150 against the Yankees, but it seems like he gets hits in big spots against the Yankees, right? So he's a guy. And then it seems like Bo Bichette has had a few big home runs against the Yankees. He's a guy who really hits the fastball. The Yankees have a lot of fastball pitchers. Chad Green out of the bullpen is the guy who relies on that high spin rate fastball, and he just throws fastball after fastball after fastball. And he's going to match up against Bo Bichette in a big spot at some point this weekend. And my question is the spin rate going to be high enough? Because if it's not, then he's going to get hit, and he usually does when it's not staying at the top of what it normally can be.
Yeah.
So Bichette scares me. And then Vladimir Guerrero, I know his numbers were down last year. It was, an under 800 OPS, but I just throw last year out the window, right? I mean,
Exactly.
guys are sitting around for a few months. Vlad is a guy who has a lot of money and probably just didn't think they were going to be playing. Maybe ordered a few too many pizzas.
Yeah.
But I saw him in a spring training game a couple days ago, and he's looking ripped, dude.
Well,
hell yeah.
my friend, I look at this year Vladimir Guerrero, and I think I see a lot of similarities about what Luke Voigt did in his offseason, where, he came back and beefed up, really went to the gym, trimmed out everything, had an incredible offseason, and then led the league in home runs. And Vladdy this offseason lost 42 pounds. And I have been kind of joking a little bit by saying that's coincidentally the amount of home runs he's going to hit this year. But I'm actually not joking that much.
No, it's incredible, man. I don't know if you saw it or not, but he hit a laser rope to dead center field 400 home run.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing last spring training before gaining all the weight. And we got to see that in his OPS. Obviously, spring training, it's 50 at bats. His OPS was 1.3.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. That is for me the J that I'm going to be looking for this season.
That home run was very Stanton-esque, if I may say so. Reminded me a lot of a Stanton.
I see. Objection.
Let me just say something about Giancarlo Stanton here, because speaking of guys hitting the ball really well this spring, he hit, I think, about 340, 350, and he's hitting line drives all over the ballpark. He looks healthy. I don't even know if you saw his, the mug shot they do for every player. He is not messing around this year. He was just not in the mood to have his picture taken, man. And all he wants to do is hit and crush baseballs. And there's a lot of fans out there that are questioning Giancarlo because of, all of the trips to the injured list and stuff. But we saw last year in the postseason, he hit 6 home runs in 9 games against top pitchers. And not one of them was a cheapie, right? When he hits them, they stay hit. And he hit a double today that was about 115 off the bat that hit the top of the wall because it didn't get 15 feet off the ground, right? So I'm very bullish, more so than I have been in his entire Yankee tenure, on Giancarlo Stanton. I think he's going to have one of those 45 to 55 home run seasons. I think he will.
I completely agree, man, because I was, if you were to ask me what Yankee I'm most scared of, probably Garrett Cole first. But as far as a batter, Stanton scares the hell out of me, man.
Yeah.
This is a guy who we know can destroy baseballs. And right now, he's got a lot to prove. He hasn't been on the field for the last 2 years, so there's a lot of question marks circulating around that. It's like a Kevin Durant situation in basketball, right? It's like this guy has all the talent in the world, and now he's got to come back and prove to everyone, hey guys, don't forget about me. Yeah. I still got it.
Yeah. And I like what you said when you brought it up earlier in the show, where you said that he's doing a new workout routine. I think that's absolutely great. Dude, this guy's got all the muscles. You don't need any more, bro. Yeah. Just get flexible, and that's what I've always thought about, especially with hitting and especially with, has he ever had an oblique strain, or was that just Judge?
I think Stanton's had everything you can have, but his main issue has been with his legs. I think he's carrying a bit too much weight. I mean, he's 260 pounds of solid muscle. Yeah. And the issue is that, he can't make explosive movements. Every time he gets hurt, it seems to be on the bases. He'll get on base fine, but then he'll try and take second or try and take third on a play where he wasn't really expecting to. A ball gets away or a bad throw or something. And it's those plays where he kind of makes those sudden, unexpected movements,
right?
Leg issues. And I got to tell you, speaking of obliques, Aaron Judge has had a lot of oblique issues in the past. And he tweaked his swing a little bit this year to kind of take some strain off of that. And the scouts are saying that it looks a little bit long. He had a bad spring. He hit 1 home run. I think he hit about 250. He's still drawing walks, but he's a guy that needs to be right for this Yankee line. You can't have Aaron Judge get off to a slow start and start hearing the questions about his swing. So we need him to come out of the gate swinging too. But if those guys are hot, I might change my prediction to 3 straight.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good segue too, because I think we have one final question for you. And what was the over-under that they had?
It was 95.5 was Vegas over-under for the New York Yankees this year. We wanted to get your opinion because obviously I think we had our podcast and we both went over just because, I mean, to be honest, we believe that we're number 2 in the division, and then and I think we're easy dubs with some of our pitchers. So I think you guys are going to definitely get over that. But wanted to ask you, do you think 95.5 over under?
So I'm taking the over, and I actually went over this game by game with my audience a few weeks back where we did a live stream. We looked at every single game in the schedule. We made the assumption that everyone was going to be healthy, so you can back this off. And the number we came up with, what they should do, accounting for slumps and stuff. If everybody's healthy, this should win about 105. But if you count in some injuries and stuff, I got them at about 99 wins. That's what I've got.
Okay,
cool.
That seems super reasonable to me. I think that 99 wins is, or right around that 100 mark, is kind of where I have you guys sitting at too. Obviously, like I said, you are going to get off to a very slow start though, because we're going to need to deliver the bops to you this weekend, a clean sweep. I actually had I posted a minute monologue today. That's one of the things that we do on our channel. And I had it was based off of that 9-run inning that we had against the Philadelphia Phillies. And I was like, we are so ready for these Yankees. We are going to deliver the home runs. They're going straight to strikeout cellar. And I had a Yankee fan comment on it. And he was like, you guys are taking nothing off of us. Cole's going to destroy you. You're going to get 0 hits. You guys are going to do anything. I don't want to hear this. And then he commented again. He was like, on April 4th, you're going to be 0-3. You just watch. Get me in the gutter down there. And
this is what we live for here. We love this back and forth banter, and it's great. It's great.
Well, I'll say this. The Jays are better than people give them credit for. Again, I don't know where the pitching's going to come from, but your guys' lineup is tough, and I've been telling my audience, don't overlook the Jays because they're better than the Rays this year.
Let's go.
I think you guys are going to have a good season. And look, I'm just excited that we're looking forward to baseball in April again and not sitting around till end of July. People are getting out and going to these games. And even if it's half full or a third full, I don't know what what the plan is for the Jays getting back to Toronto at some point, but I hope to see I hope to see you guys in Toronto at some point this, hopefully this summer. We'll see. But I'm just so happy that baseball's back, man. I just can't even tell you.
No, I agree, man. And I really hope so too. My hopes right now is at least if we make postseason, at least I think the Canadian government would allow series, because at least it's more controlled where it's one team is coming in rather than a series of teams are coming in. So I'm hoping that once we all get vaccinated, we're supposed to be vaccinated by that time anyways, around October. So I'm hoping that that's the time we can see some baseball. Tickets are going to be fucking expensive.
Whatever, man.
But I don't care. Yeah. I really don't care. I want to see the boys.
I haven't gone out in a year.
I haven't been to seriously. It's pretty locked down up here. So
I wish you guys all the best with that. We're getting to the point now where they're starting to roll out the vaccines pretty well here in the United States. We got rid of that guy, that buffoon that was running our country for a while, for the last 2 years. And things are kind of going back to normal. But I would think that they would vaccinate the athletes anyway. If you get everybody in the league vaccinated, then I see no reason that you can't have games in Toronto.
That's a good point. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense. If everyone's immune, then that math works out to me. So hopefully that does happen. Derek, NYY Recaps, it has been such an actual pleasure to talk to you, man. You are the coolest Yankees fan that I've ever had the pleasure of chatting with. So thank you for coming on our show. We hope, this was super nice. I had a great time.
Yeah,
hopefully we can get you back on at some point during the season when you guys are, struggling and selling off all your good players to us, or however it's looking at that point. But thanks a lot.
I got to return the favor too. I got to get you guys over on my channel at some point this year. Hey, look, it's a good rivalry. Both teams are going to be good. Should be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Derek.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, guys. So that was Derek, NYY Recaps. Super cool guy right there. I had a lot of fun chatting with him.
Oh, yeah. It's interesting because I remember all this, whole preseason. I get a lot of comments as we're talking about Yankees fans coming up and being like, like, oh, like Alek Manoah, like he sucks. Like, don't you throw at Judge. But obviously Derek is a freaking cool guy.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about, guys. It's all about the fun rivalry. So we're definitely looking forward to the season, especially the season series against the New York Yankees and the Blue Jays. That's a lot of fun.
I know it's competitive. I know that they are one of that best teams in baseball, but that's how you want to kick off your season, because if we can deliver the 1-2 to a Garrett Cole, to a Corey Kluber, and silence some of those guys, then man, it
gets easier, man.
It gets easier.
Because then we got Texas, and then we got the LA Angels.
Exactly, bro.
That's easy stuff.
And the wheels start turning. But guys, let us know what you think in the comments down below about the New York Yankees and the Blue Jays, about this team makeup, what you think for this opening series, and obviously, check out NYY Recaps. Super cool guy. I know he's a Yankees fan, but he posts some good stuff out there. So definitely make sure to check him out.
Definitely, guys. You can also check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, and Breaker. You guys check us out on our Instagram, Twitter, our TikTok as well. And as well, guys, again, 3 more days. Or I guess this is going to be coming out on Wednesday. So 1 more day.
Oh, my God.
1 more day
to
sign up. You got to sign up, boys. It's Monkey Knife Fight. Promo code today, Jays. And you can be entered in to win a Blue Jays jersey. Get it ready for the season. Choose whoever you want. As well, guys, I believe in tomorrow we're gonna be going live for opening day.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Opening day.
Tomorrow you're gonna see us on another level.
We're gonna be not only excited that the Jays, not only excited that the Jays are playing, but we're also gonna be a little bit drunk.
I'm gonna be another level.
We're gonna play a drink game. Actually, that gives me an idea. I'm setting up the stream this week. We should put like a little chart for our drinking game in the stream.
This channel gets better and better.
Why not? This is the channel that I want to watch.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching.
And go Jays go.